Okay, welcome to this next clip. This one here now we're having a look at an algorithm for the Magic 8 Ball. So there's the three sort of key components of a program are sequence, the order that the program needs to be running in order for it to work successfully, iteration, where we have repeated code or loops, and selection, where a decision needs to be made before something else can happen. So we know about sequence. It's the step by step, the order that things have got to happen in order for them to be done successfully. If you were making a sandwich, you don't put jam on anything until you've got the bread out, for example. You've got to do things in a set order for them to work properly, and it's the same with a computer program. With the iteration, we've got the loops. Here you can see a while loop. We've also looked at for loops. You need to have a look at some different examples of these and make sure that you're comfortable with them before your exam. But here's a while loop, and this is a type of conditional loop. So you only get into this section of the program here, and this only happens if play equals yes. And how do we know if play equals yes? Well, you can see earlier on here we've created a variable where we're then asking the user if they want to play the game, and that idea there of selection where a decision needs to be made is here. So if they answer the question with a yes, but a lowercase y, and notice here it's an uppercase y, then what I've done is I've said play equals yes with an uppercase y. Even if start equals yes with an uppercase y, well, that's fine. Play equals yes, so you get to play the game. And if you don't type in one of those two options there, then you're not going to get to play the game because you don't meet the condition that lets you into this part of the code. So that's fine. Now then, three other keywords that you need to be familiar with when talking about coding is decomposition, the process of breaking down tasks into smaller tasks that are easier to understand and solve. So that bigger problem, like with the coursework task that you did, you decompose that into lots of smaller problems. Abstraction, which is the removal of the unwanted or the unnecessary information from a task, allowing you to focus more clearly on what's key and what's important. And then the other thing is pattern recognition, being able to identify patterns in data and to build an efficient algorithm to take advantage of them, and therefore not creating chunks of code that do the same thing 4 or 5 times when you could use iteration to do it instead. So there we go. In this little clip we've talked about sequence, iteration and selection, and we've looked at what that looks like here with some Python code, and we've talked about decomposition, abstraction and pattern recognition, and those are the sorts of key things that you need to be familiar with, those words you need to be confident with, so that when they come up in your exams you know exactly what they mean.